I am just reminded of why I stopped reading. Hey, it's Divya G. What does the G stand for? The G stands for Goodreads book reviews, full of fangirl keyboard smashing and gifts told me to read this book. Back in my youth, this channel used to be called Divya Reads. But yeah, I've stopped reading, so I had to keep up with my own branding on my own channel, so that's now been fossilized and put in the Museum of Historical Events. Until I read these a few dates, you know, we started to get to know each other. We're getting a little bit cozy, you know, we're starting to let our relationship bloom until they started to reveal their true colors. It's kind of like when you start off at a new school and everyone pretends to be all nice to you, all rosy-dozy, and then, you know, 2 weeks down the line they reveal their true colors and it's like, oh, you're not who I thought you were. So if you look on Goodreads and you look at this duology, you'll see that this has rave reviews. But I don't rave, I rant. So subscribe if you want to be updated for the next time that I read a book. The things that I'm gonna say in this video, obviously it's my own opinion and all I asked is for a little, you know, R-E-S-P-E-C-T, respect, just a little bit. You don't have to listen to anything that comes out of my mouth because at the end of the day, who am I? Let's start off with the premise. Okay, this is Renee's debut novel. It's set in the Middle East in a Persian city. It's 1001 Nights tale retelling. It's set in a city of mistrust and tragedy, especially with regards to the Caliph of Khorasan, Khalid, who is 18 and he marries a new wife every day and kills them at dawn. Ooh. Start off with Shahrazad, who has volunteered as tribute to be, now isn't that a throwback, to be the new wife of Khalid because her best friend was the previous wife and yeah, she did, and she wants revenge and to find out, boy, why are you killing all these women? You know, I want... So now she's the wife, and the way that she manages to stay alive for a few nights is by telling him a story. And she leaves the story on a cliffhanger. So Khalid is like, wait, but I need to find out what happens next. Oh, I'll kill you tomorrow instead. But this is a YA fantasy romance, so we all know that Khalid isn't just killing all these females for no senseless random reason, right? There's like a backstory or something, and you know, his actions are somehow justified. So that's the premise. Now the tea. So first of all, I'm very appreciative of the fact that it's actually set in the Middle East, okay? It's not set in the West, and the author herself comes from a culturally mixed background, and I really rate the fact that the characters in here are brown. Diversity points tick tick, but diversity alone is not enough to pull the whole novel all the way through, okay? A lot of people describe her writing as sort of purple prose, which means it's basically like flowery and extravagant. And in the first book, I actually kind of rated her writing. I like the way that she describes things, and especially food. Oh boy, the way she describes the food. But also you do get phrases like, he smelt of sunlight. Her hazel orbs flashed like the back of my iPhone camera. But I did actually enjoy the reading process. What I really appreciate is Renee Ahdieh's attempts to bring about female empowerment in not just through the main character, but also through more subdued ways in, you know, Isra's character. You know, you don't have to be all like out there to be strong, independent female by yourself. And what I liked about Shazzy's character, especially in the beginning, is this sort of juxtaposing conflict between her internal dialogue, which is, you know, a little bit scared, a little bit vulnerable, versus this like steely exterior that she presents to other people. And then in the second book, every sentence was unnecessarily dramatized to the point where everything that I read felt like it could occupy its own paragraph. The sentences would be something like, he was a shell of what he was, a shadow of what he could be. Like, my girl Shazzy, you're your shell in yourself. Like, I don't understand what happened between the first book and the second book. This series morphed into another YA series where, you know, the independent, strong, I kick and kill men woman falls in love with her psychotic kidnapper, dench, hench, muscly man who, you know, is a tragic figure, and he has a soft side too. And, you know, I understand that he killed my best friends and, you know, hundreds of other women, but it's okay because, you know, there's a reason behind it all. And he has nice rippling muscles too, which I can see underneath his white shirt whenever he moves, like, oh. Yeah, I'm not here for this. So, The Rose and the Dagger suffered from an incredibly slow plot where absolutely nothing happened in like the first big ass chunk of the books, and then suddenly in the last 20 pages, you know, countless people died for absolutely no plot-driven reason that I ended up not even caring about, because I ended up not caring about any of the characters anyway. And then a war was resolved, and then war meetings happened, and then someone came back to life, and then we flash forward 10 years into the future and a battle happened, and then I lost the will to live. The biggest issue that I have with this whole series as a whole, you know, apart from all the characters who have daddy issues, Sigmund Freud, get on that, was, can I even call it that? The romance. My favorite shape of all time made an appearance in this series. The love triangle. Whoa. The author really tries to get you to root for this like love between Khaled and Shazzy, and I don't know if this girl suffers from short-term memory loss or something. She suddenly starts to somehow fall in love with the murderer of her best friend in the space of like 3 days, and I'm just here like, is this Sky broadband? Because where was the connection? Because like 1 minute she hates his bones, and then the next minute she wants to jump on them. On a more serious note, there were also scenes which I don't know if it was intentional or if this is how it was supposed to come across, but to me they seemed almost like not non-consensual, but very sort of forced and uncomfortable, and I just don't like the way that situation was handled. Like, YA in general has this weird infatuation and likes to romanticize this love where it's so intense and dramatic that you're willing to like die, and you're willing to murder, and you're willing to sacrifice everything for one person. And in my opinion, that is not romantic. I mean, if I had a partner and they were telling me that they were so jealous to the point where they want to kill my friend just so they could be with me, and they would set ablaze to an entire city, is that the time I'm running in the other direction and I'm calling the police. If love makes people blind, Shazzy doesn't even have eyes. Morals of the story, what did I learn from reading this duology? Firstly, that our main character is very pretty. Like, very pretty. She's so... Secondly, I learned that your family means absolutely nothing, and so does, you know, the entire civilization, anyone else, especially when you're 16 years old and in love with your 3-month-old husband. And thirdly, I learned that I really can't read another YA book like this. A 2 out of 10 would recommend. 2 out of 10 is a bit harsh, isn't it? It's not that bad. I'd give it maybe 2.5 out of 10. Don't let my opinion sway you or stop you from reading this book if you want. I would have gone into a more in-depth spoiler review, but honestly, I'm just trying to erase this from my memory. Anyway, thank you for watching my very incoherent ranting. Like, comment, subscribe, do your doobly-doo things. And if you did read this book, tell me what you thought about it, because... I was really angry about to make a rant book review, but Choice of One's Dance to the Sweet Ariana Grande music video is out right now, and I gotta pause 1 second once.